Fuck out of here, boy.
So, as everybody knows, I like to get through topics that interest me and maybe it interests you as well. And in the first topic of the day, I know I'm about to activate my tin hat, my conspiracy theorist tinfoil hat. And because, in my opinion, I feel like we're living in a simulation at this point, right? Things that we seen in the past that we pay no mind to until a current situation happens, and then we look back and we say, "Oh my God, they talked about it. They showed a movie about it like 10 years ago." And in this case, we're talking about the capture of Venezuelan president Maduro, and people were going to social media on X on Instagram talking about that they talked about this specific scenario on a Call of Duty game 12 years ago. Call of Duty Ghosts were set in a time, fast forward, and it was like in 2025 or 2026, the year. And in the game, they talk about capturing the president of Venezuela and talking about different things that caused it. And everybody took to Twitter. I mean, that was simply the talk. And it's crazy to me to hear this because it's kind of hard to ignore when I can't say the signs are there, but it seems like the government is being really subtle and cryptic when it comes to these things because right off the bat, you can see that the game itself just really prophesized that the president of Venezuela was going to get captured. Like the government is basically telling us these things. So we're going to get into that. And, you know, because I find it to be funny. So, as everybody knows, they captured him. They brought him to the US to face charges. He pled not guilty, him and his wife, claiming that what charges are you, charging me with? What's the charges? But this is crazy to me because the things that we're seeing now we're looking back, like the whole Charlie Kirk situation where there's a movie, I forgot what the movie is called. Um the main actor was Nicolas Cage in the movie. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's hilarious to me how see now I need to find I need to find a movie. I need to find it. Um let's see. Nicolas Cage, Nicholas. I can't even spell movie. Wow, I can't even spell, guys. Oh, this is the one right here. It's called Snake Eyes, where the movie was kind of like the guy's name was Charlie or Charles Kirkland, and he was in a public place where he was assassinated, this and that. And it seems to be a pattern. The Simpsons do it. They prophesize things. And why would that be, right? And I know all my conspiracy theorist people, I know you're out there. Gather here because I actually want to hear your take about this. I really, really do. Because how does a game or a movie or a show kind of prophesize something like that unless these things are already in motion, basically in a timer of when we're going to capture this person or when this happens, right? Because listen, I know, I know, it's kind of weird, and I wasn't going to touch on this at first, but it's hard to ignore. It's really, really hard to ignore because it's like really, really uncanny to have things like this happen and then be prophesized in that manner. I mean, another situation, the whole COVID situation, where um literally the year the COVID hit, it got really worse around the the holiday season, November, December, I believe, in 2019. And I don't know if you guys played the Division series, but they touched on something like similar, with similar situations that happened in the game that was happening during the COVID time as well. So it's like, what are you guys trying to tell us? Are you guys trying to warn us in some type of way that maybe if we really pay attention a little well, we get the details, even if you're not giving us complete context? I mean, it just feels like it's in that manner because Call of Duty Ghosts came out in 2013. Okay, it was the 10th installment of the Call of Duty franchise, right? So the story presented the federation of a fictional alliance of a South American countries whose capital was Caracas as a military superpower that becomes the main enemy of the United States. At the time, the narrowest choice sparked considerable controversy in Venezuela, where the newly elected president Nicolas Maduro considered that the game was associating his country with a global military threat and symbolically positioning it as an antagonist, which honestly I will probably agree with him. But little did he know that literally like 12 years later, 13, won't be exact, 13 years later, he was going to get captured in that manner, right? Almost like it's like, that joke where nobody gets the delivery of the joke, and then you spend days, and then you go back to the joke, and you're like, oh, I think this fits perfectly because it seems like 12 years is a long time to set somebody up, right? Oh yeah, we we're gonna turn this guy into a bad guy, basically. Almost like he had no choice but to become the villain of the story, right? So it leaves that question, and I don't know why I even brought this up as a topic. I really don't know. But I know there's people out there that probably think same way I do. Like, it can't be a coincidence where all these things are in motion and they're trying to give us this subliminal concept of bits and pieces of what is potentially going to happen. A lot of people say the Simpsons do that a lot, and with 9/11 they even did that. So I mean, they prophesized that Trump was going to be president, and he became president. So it's like, I know it could be like, I know it's like a funny take. I mean, you can't base it off facts. There's no factual thing connecting any of this, right? Because it's a video game that came out 13 years ago to a situation that happened in real life, but it's kind of hard to dismiss at the same time. And it's like, what to really do, right? But and with the whole situation with Charlie Kirk as well, that a lot of people have been watching that movie with Nicolas Cage, Snake Eyes. Similar situation. The guy was named Charlie Kirkland or whatever his name was. It's like, what to really do? Like, I know all my conspiracy theorist people out there are like trying to connect the dots and all that shit to more current situations, trying to find either TV shows or movies or video games linking to current events, right? Because at some point, somebody's going to have to put two and two together, right? There has to be people out there looking at everything that's been out entertainment wise, games, TV shows, movies, and then linking it to a real situation. There has to be some people out there. If you are out there, hey, message me on my email, Movers Gaming Inquiries at gmail.com. If I would love to have you on my podcast to talk about this. It's interesting to me, and I know there's more people who think that way as well. So who knows? But I leave it up to you guys to come up with that conclusion because honestly, I don't want to enter that wormhole because it seems like there's just downhill from there, right? We have a situation here with this topic. And the situation here is prompted by a known concept that even scientists are baffled to even answer. And that is what came first, the chicken or the egg? Now, this is just a hypothetical using the current situation that I'm about to talk about, the chicken or the egg. Because today's topic is about Grok. Now, you probably seen the news, but if you didn't, let me throw some context to you. People have been going on social media, on X specifically, using Grok to make pictures look like something else. I'm gonna give you an example. Woman wearing clothes, and somebody asked Grok to, hey, put a bikini on this picture, and then boom, Grok does it. It's been a trend for the past week or so, and people have been doing it. And a lot of women who have been people have been taking their photos to do that with it, not themselves, but other people using Grok to do it. Are fed up with it. They contacted X. They're calling out Elon Musk and the whole shebang, including, I think she was with, I'm not sure if this is true, Ashley St. Clair. Now, I'm not going to show the photo here, obviously, because she probably got that taken down. But I got a tweet here by Dom LaCour. He's good at breaking these type of news. And it says here that Ashley St. Clair is going to war with Grok after AI started posting seductive photos of her undressing and underage photos of her at the request of X users. Now, she has every right to sue at this point if X cannot take action and fix Grok and that, to I mean, it's kind of hard to do. I'm not sure. I'm not a developer. I'm not a coder. I don't know exactly how AI fucking works. You give it a command and it does it. So I don't know how you will stop. The only way that X and Elon Musk, for that matter, can stop this is to take action against the people who are doing it, right? So it prompts me to ask, like, who's really at fault? That's why I used the whole what comes first, the chicken or the egg, right? Because who's to blame? Because if I look at it in the same situation as the whole gun control thing, like who's to blame? The gun or the person who's using the gun ill advised to commit a crime, right? I mean, this is the same concept right now with AI, right? When people create AI, oh, AI is getting out of hand. No, people's imagination is getting out of hand, right? So a lot of people are suing, or at least um letting X and Elon Musk know the situation is really getting out of hand, right? So Elon Musk's Grok AI floods with floods X with sexualized photos of women and minors. He did it to that child star from Stranger Things, the one that played what, Haley or whatever her name was. people were doing that, and I feel like that is disgusting. But is it AI's fault in this situation? Like I said before, like who's really to blame here? Man, let's look at it in a gun control standpoint, right? When somebody commits a crime using a gun, do you stop the gun manufacturers or you go after the person? I mean, if it's not a gun, it's going to be a rock. If it wasn't a rock, it's going to be a spear or any other weapon, right? So in this situation, is AI really that dangerous, or is people's imagination dangerous? That's the real take. And I think that if X went to court, Elon Musk went to court on this, his lawyers will argue that. But I think they're still responsible in a sense where if people don't stop, they have to start going after the people, because that's past freedom of speech. You're perverting um in really sexual assault through internet, really, because that's really how it sounds like, and it sounds funny at first, but it's really not that funny. And people doing it, it's not funny. I'm telling you right now, it's not funny. And I know a couple people who I follow, and recently they locked their comments only to friends on X because they were doing it. One being Sophie Snaz. She's a known content creator, mostly for Call of Duty. And people have been taking her photos to do the same thing. So she locked the comments and all that because they were using her photos. So I believe that you could do it that way. I'm not sure if that actually works, but she just refused to see her own photos be perverted in that manner. So I still think that the app itself is not to blame, but I still believe that X needs to take action against these people who do it. But I don't know if this will hold up in court for people who want to sue X and Grok and Elon Musk. It's not going to hold up. I know, but because they could argue the same concept as a gun, right? Like, who's to blame? The gun or the person who used the gun, right? Because the gun is just a tool, just like Grok. It's just a tool. People's imagination is what is bringing Grok to life, right? Because Grok is just a tool. So, is this going to get dangerous along the road? I mean, it's already dangerous. Ever since AI was introduced, it has become dangerous. Not because of AI itself, but because people's imagination, people are getting exposed now for being perverted and this and that because of AI. You see it. Oh my God. What's that other AI called? Sora, where everybody was doing the bringing people back to life and all this shit. Mr. Rogers, you see Chris Benoit coming back to life. Martin Luther King, that the family of Martin Luther King, um, told that they had to take down every video that was ever posted by Sora AI, and and they did. They did. Every video was taken down. They spoke to like TikTok and YouTube. Those videos that was posted there by people using Zora had to take all these videos down in regards to Martin Luther King, and they did, which they took charge of it and said, "No, you're right." But if people were to sue Sora for that, I don't think they would win because at the end of the day, it's not Sora, it's not the AI, it's the people and their imagination using a tool. Because at the end of the day, AI is just a tool, just like a gun is a tool for to cause violence and to kill people. So again, the chicken or the egg. But to me, my answer pretty much ties, and I say the person. So to like X and Elon Musk, people who keep doing that should be punished, should be banned from X, something, right? because if you don't take care of it, then I think it would be a slam dunk case for somebody to sue you because you neglected all the rules. You neglected their um their plea for you to take action towards those people, so they would have a case for that. But as far as them trying to sue and X doing something about it, the judge will see that as like, okay, they're doing something about it. And you suing at the end of the day, it's a tool, and the people who are using your photos to sexualize you and minors are the ones to blame because the AI is just a tool. Your imagination, whoever's doing it, your imagination is sick. You're a sick person for doing shit like that. And honestly, you don't need to be in the internet right now. So, staying on the topic of conspiracy theorists, people actually think there is going to be an episode 9 of Stranger Things after they made it clear that the 8th episode was actually the final episode. Now, we heard news that the Duffy brothers were going to do a spin-off, and then Netflix kind of like quietly shut it down. But this is getting out of hand. People are coming up with better conclusions, better endings to the show than the Duffy brothers did in the whole season 5. And everybody's been talking about it, and it's so weird to me. So put on your tinfoil hats again, my conspiracy theorists, because we're going to dig in and kind of try to figure out exactly what people are really talking about here, because it doesn't make sense to me that we're seeing this in the constant basis, and you know, it's weird. It's weird to me. So I'm searching here to kind of like see if people are actually talking about this. Yes, episode 9. Everybody's just talking about it, rumors. So this is current news right here. 5 hours ago on USA Today, people talking about you know, if Stranger Things is actually going to have an episode 9. Is the date on which it's supposed episode 9 is supposed to drop, revealing that the last few season 5 episodes were all lies. Lies of what, to be exact? So the ninth episode of the final season come out on Wednesday, and it's supposed to come out today. What's today's what? Yeah, today is Wednesday, the 7th, right? So is it supposed to come out Wednesday morning? Is no. As we noted on Tuesday, there were multiple reasons this wouldn't happen. So my question to the people, and look, people have been coming up with some crazy stuff. All right. Some crazy stuff. So I have this tweet here that I wanted to talk about. This is somebody who actually believes that this is going to happen. So we're going to watch this clip and then have a little laugh, but at the same time respect all my conspiracy theorists out there. All right. Because I'm not trying to like diminish somebody's take for whatever reason. So
Alright, this might sound crazy, but I actually think we're getting an episode 9 of Stranger Things. Alright, now The Tonight Show just posted this video of Vecna's actor dancing in like an OG 80s workout video. Let's listen to it.
Let's channel our energy. Tomorrow, it begins.
Tomorrow it begins.
Let's
Tomorrow
do
it
the
begins.
clock.
This is not a coincidence,
I
bro.
think
They
people
posted this at 10:07 p.m., bro. I got goosebumps. And the video is 1:07 long. Yo, this is not a coincidence, bro. They just posted this video at 10:07 p.m. and the video is 1:07 long, and he says tomorrow it begins. Oh my god, we're actually getting an episode 9, bro. So if you go to the Stranger Things official...
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there because I'm pretty sure he's just gaslighting this. I'm starting to believe that they were just trolling at this point because of what the Duffy brothers were hearing a lot of people talk about, who are coming up with better endings than the whole season 5. The episode 7 alone was just the worst. and everybody's comparing it to the final episode of season 8 of Game of Thrones. It one, it was horrible. The whole season was horrible. They could have just probably left it at season 7 and then did like a split season, so like second half of season 7, to like save yourself a whole new season where the first 3 episodes were the battle with the Night King, and then the last 3 episodes were as pointless as a USB drive just sitting on my desk. And this is just the same thing. I think they're just trolling at this point to kind of like, you know, keep it going as long as they can, because they know that there's nothing else, and the spinoff is probably not guaranteed. Now, whether they decide to actually do the spinoff, that's one thing. But as far as we know, they haven't even confirmed one yet. So who's to say that this is really completely it? If it doesn't, if there is a spinoff, like what material can you actually use? Kind of like do flashbacks of, you know, the really the real beginning of things, and talk about Dimension X more often, right? But other than that, I do not know what can you guys actually talk about in the spinoff. Like, who do you bring back? Like, they would probably have to change the actors because then they will be older, or bring them back altogether, just make them look older. I don't know. I don't know how you convince them to come back after not. I mean, this series alone made them super famous, right? So these guys can land any role anywhere they want at this point, right? But again, I really don't completely know exactly. There's no episode 9, ladies and gents. There's no episode 9. No episode 9. This guy's just trolling you. No episode 9. Doesn't make sense. No episode. What are you talking about? I think this guy locked his comments. Did he lock his comments? Oh no, okay. I had big news. Everybody's just trolling him. Clickbait, clickbait, bro. Yeah. The curse. The curse of trying to keep things alive when you know there should have been more. This actually makes a lot of sense. Makes complete sense. So, I don't know. Chapter 9, the curse. You damn right it is the curse. Because now everybody's going to be talking about this, and people are just going to mass produce, you know, all that BS. So, I don't know, guys. I wish that they ended the season in a better way. Obviously,
Workout video.
Obviously, we're not going to. And the only thing that you could truly bank on is probably the spinoff, if they decide to do an actual spinoff, if Netflix signs off on doing a spinoff of Stranger Things. And what, I'm not sure what they would call it. I would like to know what you guys think if they did a spinoff of Stranger Things. What they would call it, Dimension X or something. In the beginning, I don't know. Tell me what title you would give the spinoff of Stranger Things. Still call it Stranger Things Dimension X or something like that. Let me know what you guys think. The GOAT debate is something that a lot of people always constantly talk about when it comes to basketball, right? And honestly, I'm getting tired of it, just because the longer that LeBron James stays in the league, I know this sounds weird, the more his career diminishes. I'm saying, listen, I know. It's like, what are you talking about, Ant? Like, this man has accomplished a lot. Sure. Numbers don't lie, but the longer he stays and the longer people keep gaslighting his numbers, uh it's just gonna diminish everything that he's accomplished. And I want to note something about the numbers. The numbers, yeah, you're right, they don't lie, but they also don't tell the whole story. I have a clip here that I wanted to touch on because it's so easy to kind of, and I get it. Look, I grew up in the Michael Jordan era. These new kids grew up with the LeBron era. Some of them kind of overlapped between Kobe and LeBron, and some overlap between the end of Jordan, where people still knew the history of Jordan, and Kobe, right? So it's a toss up, and I understand if you're in the mid 2000s and you were born around that time, you're a LeBron fan. I understand that completely, but that notion where you just gonna forget the fact that everybody was always talking about Jordan, the like mics, until this very day, LeBron's comparison is still Michael Jordan, not the other way around. But we're gonna watch this clip, and I'm gonna elaborate more because this debate is definitely it has to end. It has to end, and you know, so it's this channel called Uncut Hoops, and he does a lot of videos on this, debating about Jordan and and LeBron James, and you know how this goes. So we're gonna watch this, a little clip.
We know who the best player ever is. His name is LeBron James.
You're incorrect.
Michael never had to leave. Michael's never been the underdog in any finals. LeBron's.
Of course, he hasn't been. If you're gonna be called the GOAT and the greatest player of all time, you can't be considered the underdog. There's been a debate: is which one would you rather be, the underdog or the team to beat, right? And or the juggernaut, as I like to call it. So which one would you rather be? Would you rather be the underdog or the juggernaut in the league? And although being the underdog is the more favorable story, right? Because it's more fun watching games when you're the underdog as a team. But the notion that he's basically just shooting himself in the foot by saying that, right? Because it's like, so you're saying that LeBron James has been the underdog in every team, and it speaks to his stats during the playoffs. In every team that he's played in, he's never been the best player on his team during the playoffs. I'm just gonna be quite frank with you. And this narrative here kind of sums it all up, right?
Antlers is in platinum and Michael's may be in gold.
What?
That
People
makes
didn't
sense.
buy MJs because they wanted to be just like Michael Jordan.
Can you, shut up?
When it comes to LeBron James Media Mafia, we know guys like Nick Wright, Colin Cowherd, Kendrick Perkins, who are on TV constantly pushing pro-LeBron propaganda. Those guys in their own right are LeBron James shills. But looking at the biggest shill, biggest cheerleader, that of course is Rich Paul, who runs Clutch Sports and is LeBron's longtime friend.
Michael Jordan had two really, really, really great partners. One in Nike and the other one in Gatorade.
Okay.
Now,
I didn't even
from a
realize
marketing
that
perspective,
they could make comparisons like
they
that
told
and
two
use
of the greatest
brands
stories.
to determine who's the
Nike,
GOAT.
Air. From a Gatorade perspective, it was the fuel to win. And it was Gatorade that created the lullaby, like Mike, if I could be like Mike.
It's
Not
true.
only is it the product of hydration, the product of footwear, etc., it's also the media spin that they to really push these campaigns.
He's delusional.
One might argue that Jordan made these brands what they are. Okay? Nike wasn't the top shoe in the basketball world. It was what Converse and Adidas. Jordan made Nikes popular in the basketball world. Like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about?
So, stopping that right there very quickly, for a lot of LeBron James fans, when they attack Jordan, here's what they don't attack: Michael Jordan the player and what he accomplished on the basketball court. As looking at Jordan's legacy, yes, he has flaws, bad moments, games he's lost, game winners he's missed. But compared to LeBron James, Michael Jordan's success rate is 10 times higher. So that being the case, what do they have to do? Go to off-the-court stuff and paint more narratives that have nothing to do with basketball.
And that's
and one of those
the longer, and that's why I say the longer LeBron stays in the league, knowing that he should retire, the longer he stays in the league, knowing that he should retire, the more it is hurting him, right? Because he's already the laughing stock of the league. Let's just be clear. I don't care what anybody says, he's the laughing stock of the league. Because of all this narrative spinning that he's doing, like basically saying he is the GOAT. None of these guys, including Kobe and MJ, ever called themselves the GOAT. They let other people call him that. And even if they were told that that's what they were, they just laugh it off. It's like, again, people was like, but his numbers, he beat Kareem's. I would like to think so. And look, can't take away from a guy averaging 27 points a game his whole career. Just to break that record, that's great, you know. But does that translate to wins? Does that translate to wins? How many times LeBron James has been in the finals and how many times he's won it? It's like, oh, but he's been to the playoffs. Yeah, but how many of those times has it been successful? It's like, what's the point of going to the playoffs if you can't go all the way? You can't be called a GOAT if you can't win every time you're in. That's what I'm trying to tell people. Like, one thing is winning, sure. But you go to the playoffs and then you lose? That's not a GOAT mentality right there. And his numbers in the playoffs don't compare to Jordan's numbers in the playoffs, where it really counts. So, no.
You know, he's a media creation who is propped up to make money.
Fuel to win like Mike. I believe I can fly. Those things are not being manufactured by their partners in the and a narrative and now mapping it onto Jordan.
Right.
They're coming organically from what's real.
Thank you.
There you go. He summed it all up. To add on to that point, these brands did not make Jordan. Jordan made these brands what they are today. Let's just be clear. Nike wasn't a known brand for basketball until Jordan showed up. Look at these days now. They're all wearing Jordan shoes. Even LeBron wears Jordans. Think about that. I mean, this whole narrative, everything that he's done, it was organic. It was born because of him. Everything that LeBron does is fake. It's fake. It's manufactured to spin narrative because no one knows what to do with him. No one respects him enough to even consider him being the greatest of all time. but he goes and breaks records. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, a man broke the all-time scoring record. It's top 10 in a lot of stats, but he bases everything on stats. Doesn't worry about winning. It almost seems like he doesn't care about winning at all. So that's the reason why people can never put him at number one. Like, it's, if he were more, humble and admitted that he needed to put in, that mentality to work, because who cares if you can drop 27 points a game every year and stay healthy every year? Yeah, those are great feats, sure. You get the clap, you get the clap. You get the standing ovation for showing up and being healthy basically your whole career and averaging 27 points a game. But what does that really translate to in 27 years? Yeah, you've been to the playoffs a lot, sure, but you have a losing record in the playoffs. You have a losing record in the finals. Yeah, you have 4 titles, sure. One that honestly I don't even count for shit. But the other 3, honestly, with the Heat, I thought that Dwayne Wade was the best player on the team. You weren't even the best player on that team. I'm just being honest. I'm sorry to say that, man. You weren't even the best player on that team. In the playoffs, you shattered completely. Isn't that the reason why the team disbanded? Because you couldn't beat the Mavs. But you couldn't beat the San Antonio either. But then you're saying that you're the GOAT? And this narrative everybody's spinning to make sure everybody thinks the same way that you do. That's just a sad attempt. Now, I know that everybody's gonna probably heat me in the comment section for this, but I don't care. Who cares? I'm a Jordan fan. I could tell you that I'm being a little biased, but because I watched them play, but I also did comparisons. LeBron James has never had the drive that Jordan had. The only one that came close was Kobe. Rest in peace, Black Mamba. And LeBron James, he never had that. He is not in the level of MJ. He was not on the level of Kobe. People fear these guys. People don't fear you, man. They don't fear you. That's all I had to say. If you follow me, then you know I do a lot of Call of Duty content. I started like about a year ago, I believe. But I played before. It's not like I started playing that year, the beginning of the year last year. No, I play Call of Duty. I understand the Call of Duty concept. I understand exactly what Activision and Microsoft have been doing in their success and but lack thereof. So the season Reloaded is coming out, right? Everybody knows this. You can see it here. I actually did a thumbnail for my current video that I actually dropped on this. I will leave a link to that if you want to watch it. Explaining the season and why this is going to be a failure, because usually the first season means nothing. It has no real value to the rest of the game. And why I say that, I know this is the main reason why I say this, right? Why it doesn't have real value to anything. And that is because season 2 is usually when they get, their flow. It determines a lot of things, right? The first 3 months of a game doesn't dictate anything until they get the numbers. They crunch the numbers, whether they decide to inflate them and lie about them, like Activision and Microsoft do with their games, that's one thing. But if you play the game and you know exactly their tactics, then you know that there's nothing that they could tell you to, to convince you otherwise, right? So in this video, I talked about that none of this means anything. You know, the seasons and the reloaded seasons before the season's over. Season 2 will be their real task. Not because of the lack of content. I think that it's safe to say there's been more content in this in Black Ops 7 in the first season than 3 seasons combined in Black Ops 6. Already noticeable. And that's not what we're aiming at. We're aiming at the performance of the game, right? Because at the end of the day, the seasons are all microtransaction based, right? The mini season, I call it the paywall behind the paywall, because this mini season, the season tracker is behind a paywall where you have to pay in order to earn these things. So we're not talking about that. But how can you guarantee us a good game when all you're doing is dropping microtransactions and you expect people to be okay with the servers being shite? Like, when was the last time you guys updated your servers? I'll tell you when. 2019. Now, you're like, 2019? That's very specific. Modern Warfare 19 was the official time when they introduced a lot of things, including the vicious way of the microtransaction introduction, right? They have DLCs that they sold through microtransactions back in the day. Yes, they did. Modern Warfare 2, the 360 version, the original Modern Warfare 2, was kind of like the beginning of the end when they introduced the microtransactions and the content. But that wasn't the problem until Fortnite came along. Fortnite came along and then changed the whole aspect of Call of Duty, because now they adapted the Fortnite formula into Call of Duty with the whole microtransactions, and now it's just like a vicious cycle, right? But that's not even the problem. I think it would, because at the end of the day, people choose whether to spend the money on these things, right? What people cannot choose is how the connections are in the game, the manipulation that happens within the game. We can't control that, but Treyarch controls it, Activision controls it, Microsoft controls it. So if you're a multi-billion-dollar company and you're owned by a multi-billion-dollar company, why do we still have the same servers from 2019? I'll tell you why. Why would they change servers when they introduced Ricochet that year? Ricochet is more than just an anti-cheat, if people didn't already know. It's a algorithm system used in the servers. You ever notice packet bursting and all these nonsense that happens within the game that feels like the connection is just that ass? There you go. It's Ricochet pushing a lot of traffic in and out to try to grab enough information while still trying to act as an anti-cheat. So people don't understand that concept yet, and I completely believe that the people have it figured out. But I guess in Activision's eyes, people haven't figured it out yet. But I wasn't born yesterday. I didn't come here kicking rocks. I know the difference, and I want people to understand the difference too, ladies and gents. I think by now, if you fall for it, it's your fault. Keep falling for this, it's your fault. I'm gonna be really clear to a lot of content creators out there that do Call of Duty content. Obviously, they know what they're doing, and they're doing the Call of Duty content because that's how they make their money. And so I can't attack people for doing that. I respect those people. There's a lot of people that I know, like the Rick, Foley, Nero Cinema, T Dog Smitty, enjoy doing Call of Duty content, but also call them out when they need to, in a way that I won't say that they play the political card, because they speak their minds of how things are and how they should go, and I agree most of the time with them. And then you have guys like Ghost of Fate and all that, who also is trying in a funny way, but I think that at the end of the day, we could all agree there's something internally wrong with Activision. And we could go even further and say Microsoft, right? Because they own Activision now. And it doesn't matter how many new sub-series you introduce, if you can't clean house in the sense where you have to get rid of these people and start fresh with new developers, you're just going to have more of the same. So how do you fix a game that has an internal problem, an internal cancer that Activision and Microsoft themselves don't want to fix, but yet they're saying, "Oh, we want to get the player base back. We want the player base to feel nostalgic when we introduce some new games, new sub-series." None of that is going to change if you don't clean house. Not saying to create a new developing company to help with it, or buy another developing company that, you know, can work on these games. No. Hire new people with fresh ideas. You have the money to do so, and you haven't done it. But above all, fix your damn servers. I mean, it's about damn time. Like, we get the cheating aspect. It's not going to be an easy task. We understand that. But Jesus, what does the cheating aspect have to do with you not updating your servers correctly? A multi-billion-dollar company owned by another multi-million-dollar company. I mean, you can't make this up, ladies and gents. You can't. And then I probably get called out for hating on Call of Duty. You're always hating on Call of Duty. It's like, but you play the game, no? Yeah, because I make Call of Duty content. I'm supposed to play the game for Call of Duty content to get my Call of Duty takes. But I'm going to end it right here, ladies and gents. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is a current issue that is affecting the player base for real. But I'll leave it up to you. Comment down your thoughts on what you guys think about all these situations. Did you like the podcast today? I do this weekly, ladies and gents, and you guys know what to do. I want you to be safe. Get through the weekend. And I'll see you again next Friday. Okay?